make some simple arrabbiata sauce, onions, garlic, carrots, and we're actually going to use some dried chilies. The reason I've chosen to use dried chilies instead of fresh is they're going to be the heat is going to be consistent every time. So every time we weigh it out, we know the heat is going to be exactly the same. Where if you use a fresh chili, yeah, it's a great taste, but it can be very different. Every day you buy a chili, they're different. And this is adding that consistency into the recipe. So all we're going to do with that, put it into food processor, blitz it up, and then I'll show you the consistency I'm looking for in a second. The vegetables for the arrabbiata. So we've got the onions and garlic, and then we've got the carrots and the dried chilies. Put the dried chilies in there just to break down. It's really important to get this size vegetables. Don't want a puree, but just want a little bit of coarseness, but really finely chopped, because the final sauce isn't going to be blitzed, so everything will stay the same size that it is now. So it's really important to get this vegetable this size. Now I'm going to add this into a pan and cook it out in a little bit of oil, salt and pepper. Okay. So we're just going to put some oil in. And then all the vegetables in. As it hits the pan, we're going to add some salt in. Really important, there's table salt and not sea salt. Just going to get that to bring all the moisture out of the vegetables, then it'll speed the cooking process up and also help caramelise the vegetables as well. We're going to put some freshly cracked pepper in as well. And just let that cook out for about 10 minutes on a medium heat. So the vegetables have been cooking for a couple of minutes now, and we're going to add the tomato puree. Just give it a good stir in and we'll cook that out for another 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so the tomato puree is cooked out. It's just starting to catch on the bottom, which is perfectly fine, because the next thing we're going to add is the white wine, so that'll lift everything off the bottom of the pan and deglaze everything off the bottom of the pan. So now I'm going to add our white wine. The most important part of the arrabbiata is the tomatoes. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the tomatoes through a ricer. It's quite a traditional way of doing the tomatoes for a tomato sauce. What it does, it stops the seeds from cracking, so it stops that bitterness coming out. You will end up with some seeds in the actual final sauce, which just adds a little bit of a traditional sauce to it, but it tastes really good, and then it saves you adding sugar and vinegar to the recipe as well. So just going to pour the tomatoes straight into the ricer. So what you end up with is a really nice passata. As you can see, there are some seeds still in there, but that's fine. Adds a bit of texture to the sauce as well. So this is now ready to add to your pan. Make sure you clean the tray well. Give it a good stir, and we'll let that cook out for about 15-20 minutes, and then that'll be our arrabbiata sauce finished. Okay, so we've finished our arrabbiata sauce. It had a good taste, it tastes really great, enough chilli, and perfect consistency. Now if you think about when you're reheating this pasta, it doesn't matter if it's actually a little bit loose at this stage, because when you're reheating, you're obviously going to put it on a really hot heat, and it's going to reduce more as well. So it doesn't matter if it's a little bit on the runny side now, because when you finish it, you'll reduce that final part out. So all I'm going to do is pour it into some tubs, and then it'll be ready for chilling. Okay, we've got our arrabbiata sauce in the tubs. Really important, don't fill them up too much because obviously it takes a very long time to cool down. Going to pop this in a sink full of ice cold water, or if you've got the benefit of a blast chiller, straight into a blast chiller. Nicely labelled, and it's ready for service.